Tonight we are talking about oils for wellness, lungs, and sinuses, and I am so excited because I did not even make the correlation before, like tonight, that we have a significant part of at least the United States that needs lung support right now. And I was just chatting with a friend, who is in the middle of it all over on the West Coast, and I just wanted to start off by saying our hearts are with you, and gosh, hopefully some stuff we share tonight can be helpful. So I want to start off by kind of talking overview basics. My name is Bethany Shipley. If I don't know you yet, I live in Kansas City, Missouri. We are having the most beautiful weather here, but as it often does when the weather changes from summer to fall, as it does once every year, we get a lot of questions about this topic. Like, hey, my lungs, my sinuses need support. What can I do to support them? And so we wanted to put together a class that would overview what essential oils are, how they can be used specifically with lungs and sinuses, and hopefully empower you in that way. So let's talk about the basics of essential oils. If you're not familiar with essential oils, first of all, if you are familiar with essential oils, grab an essential oil right now and put it on, because essential oils are amazing. They act as if, I'll put it into like really simple terms, they're like, imagine them like little hungry Pac-Man molecules, and when you put them on your body, in and on your body, they literally go and try to like eat synthetic toxins, also known as free radicals. And they're absolutely amazing. They're able to metabolize synthetics, basically eating them up and destroying them. And they are literally miracles. They're amazing. They're like little miracle things. They're amazing. So they're not called essential oils for a marketing scheme. They're actually called essential oils because they are essential to the plant in which they come from. So peppermint essential oil, is the volatile liquid that is in a peppermint plant that makes it have life. And so the ability for the peppermint plant to fight against microbes and worms and dirt and all the natural things that are swarming around in the dirt, that the lifeblood, like the part of the fighting power of the plant that gives its ability to like regrow a limb and heal its own cuts, that's the essential oil. So it's not like, oh yeah, essential oil, they're just essential because they're cute for your kitchen diffuser. They're actually essential for the plant. And so what we found is that when we can extract that essential oil from the plant, they've actually become really beneficial for the human body as well. And different plants connect with different systems of the body. So you'll notice when people are talking about digestive support, like, oh, I'm having digestive issues, what oil should I use? A lot of times the word peppermint will come up, because peppermint is really, really good for that digestive system. For neurological overstimulation, people who need to rest more, you're going to hear a lot of like lavender. Does that mean that there's only one use for every essential oil? No. And that's why it's a little bit, we have to get a little creative when we start talking about essential oils for a specific system of the body. One time, my friend Whitney said that someone came to her and said, hey, I want these essential oils, but I do not want to use them for my benefiting my health. I literally just want my house to smell good. And she's like, well, I can't promise that the essential oil molecules will not come through your diffuser into your olfactory system in your nose, enter your bloodstream, and help your body perform at a better level. The cool thing about holistic living and the cool thing about the way that we see essential oils is like, hey, it's actually going to benefit your entire body. It would be so fun someday to hear all the stories of people who were like, yeah, I was using an essential oil for this reason, but then it was so crazy because this happened. I know for me, one time I had a situation like that. I'm not going to share it now because it's irrelevant to our topic, but it's fun to talk about. So as we talk about essential oils for lungs and sinuses, I just want you to remember that it will be beneficial for other systems of your body as well as how we're talking about them specifically. Okay, so there are 3 ways to use essential oils, and you will hear about those here in this class. I'm going to overview them so that you're familiar with some of the terms. The first way that I like to do it every single day is aromatically. And if you look behind me here in my office, I have this little weird looking like teardrop shaped machine. This is actually a diffuser, and I ran in from hugging my kids and I did not turn it on. So bummer, because what I like to do is put a little bit of water in there, maybe like 2 ounces or an ounce, not even a half an ounce of water. And it has a little fill line. And then I put, 5 to 10 drops of essential oil, and then I turn it on. That essential oil diffuser actually emits essential oils into the air. And the essential oils, because it's not using heat or anything, it's actually an ultrasonic plate, pushes those essential oils out of the air, and you can smell the beautiful fragrance. What happens when you can smell it is it enters into your olfactory system. Your neurons, it's actually proven, your neurons will fire in a different way. Your brain works in a different way because it impacts your brain in a way that other things cannot. We've replaced our whole house. No, we don't have any more candles. We don't have any more plug-in fragrances. We don't have any more things that are designed to make our house smell different other than diffusers, because they are so much healthier and better for the respiratory system. Before I got into oils, I was the person who had an inhaler in her bag at all times. I had to whip it out sometimes and use it. It was not a fun time. And I found alternative ways to support my lungs. I'm not used an inhaler now in 6 years. And ironically, 6 years ago, I fell in love with essential oils. So that's kind of a fun little story. Okay, now, I guess I should say this as a caveat. This is like our experience. So we're going to be sharing this experience. This is our experience. This is not like a diagnosis or a promise that you'll have the same results. Just as a caveat to say, you'll have to do your own independent research and figure out what works for you. Okay, so the first way, aromatic. And you can smell it through a diffuser, but you can also just smell it straight out of the bottle like this. You smell the essential oils, that means the molecules are getting out of the bottle, and so you're getting benefit from it. The second way is topically. Topically on your body. I have this little roller that I rolled on my neck, underneath on my ear drainage system. I don't know the correct term for that, but that is topically. You would use oils topically when you're looking for a topical result. Like if you have, for me, last night I had a bug bite. I had a bug in my bed. So this morning I put some essential oil on the bug bite topically. I would also use oils topically when I have some sort of let's say elbow pain, and I would want it to be topical to that area. Not necessarily a bug bite on the skin, but it's on that specific area. The third way is internally. And internally is where you have to make sure that your essential oil is of highest quality. This is why we only suggest you use Young Living essential oil. I personally would never use another brand of essential oil in a diffuser or topically either, but somehow internally just kind of takes it to a new level for me personally because it's being ingested into my body. And I know that there's no way that I can encapsulate what Young Living does differently in 2 minutes time before I pass it on to my friend, but basically I have never seen a company take a higher standard of quality. I've been to the farms where they actually harvest the essential oil. I've seen the process up close, and let me tell you, they do not cut corners. In the industry of essential oils, there's literally no regulatory industry that's involved in essential oils. So the bottles on the shelves of TJ Maxx and Walmart and Target will promise you that you will get the same result. And I will promise you that you absolutely won't. And so, I am typically someone who's looking for a good deal. This is one area I will not compromise. This, essential oils, and leggings, I will not compromise on quality. Okay, you all need to go buy Lululemon leggings. Okay, let's just be very upfront. If you don't have Lululemon leggings, you need them. I know they're more expensive, but I promise you, they will last you forever. They will do what they need to do, just like the essential oils that I'm talking about tonight. So hopefully that gave you a little laugh like it did for me. I'm talking my mom into it, okay? I'm talking my mom into it. Even if that message was just for her, go spend the money on the leggings. All right, I'm going to pass it over to my friend Rhonda, who's going to share her experience with these oils specifically in regards to lung and sinus health.
Good evening. Hope everyone can hear me. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on this incredible topic of, you can't hear me? Uh-oh, I have my volume up.
I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, okay. Someone just said they couldn't hear. Okay. I'm so excited to take a few minutes. My little section is to talk about lung support. And again, like Bethany was saying, we all come with different experiences. This is my story or our story as a family. My recommendation for you is if you're just looking at essential oils or you've been using them, is to give them a shot, because they really do make a life change. They will make a difference. And the only way to see that happen is to open that toolbox. Essential oils have become a toolbox for me, a support to the body system. My story is that I have 4 children. My baby boy was born at least over a month early, and so he was very sick. And he was born with RSV, straight into lung issues from the time he was little all the way until he was 9 years old, in and out of hospital with pneumonia and different things. And it was very difficult. We had a sick boy all the time. Couldn't go anywhere without an inhaler. I was very afraid to let him out during the winter months and the months that can cause sinus issues. You know what I'm talking about, where the lung is affected. I was very, very concerned for him. And I was constantly looking for a support, constantly wondering if the doctors were going to come up with something. I was following their instructions. And I will recommend that if you are someone that is following a doctor's instructions, stick with that. I'm not telling you not to, but I am telling you there are some things that you can do to support your body and to see some life change. And so when my little toolbox came, I did not have a class like this, which is amazing. Bethany came out and taught a class from Kansas all the way to Denver, Kansas City to Denver. I didn't get an online class. I got an in-person class. But what she talked to me about was the power of Thieves essential oil. And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, because there was 2 oils that made a life change for my family and for my son. And it was Thieves and RC. And if you want to know more about RC, it's very similar to Raven, but it's what came in my kit at the time. And I can tell you about it later, but it made a huge difference. What you know about someone who needs lung support, you also have probably a compromised immune system. And my son had a very compromised immune system because he was sick all the time. And so Thieves is like a life changer. I didn't know. All I knew was it's going in the diffuser and it's going to the bottom of his feet. And Thieves is a combination of clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary. And what that combination of oils is it comes from the legendary time frame of when the robbers would go in and rob the dead and dying during the plague, right? It was just a scary time. The plague was a scary time. Not so much different than what we're going through right now, which is kind of interesting. But they were going in and they were coming out unscathed. And when they were arrested and all that happened, they were asked, I don't understand. What are you doing to stay healthy? And they kind of gave up this particular recipe that we get to have in your toolbox to support your body, which is incredible. So when I got a hold of that and realized the power of that, I thought, okay, I can now begin to support my son's immune system. I don't know about everything else. I don't know that I can take anything else out of his regiment, but I'm going to start here. And so I started using that oil on the bottom of his feet at night and in a diffuser. And as the days were going by, we were not using his inhaler. He was going out and not getting sick. And it didn't dawn on me until probably 3 or 4 months in, the difference that it had made. And now we are 6, or actually it's 15. So we're 5 years in with no inhaler. And he actually has not been sick, like flu sick, nothing. And I will tell you that is incredible as a mom. And it was probably only about a year ago, this is my story, that I was able to let that inhaler set to the side. Like, wow, you don't need this, bud. Like, this is amazing. Like, your body is working the way it's supposed to. So combination of that, I wish I could talk about RC and what that did, because that is incredible lung support. But thieves, I think, was key. Also, I removed chemicals from the home, candles and those types of things. So if you have candles, plugins like I did, remove them, because they add to lung problems, and you can't breathe, and it's not good because they're carcinogenic. So please remove them and start going natural. But I hope that this was an encouragement to you, that as you get that box, as you open it up, if you've not opened up your Thieves bottle and you're not using it right now for yourself, get it to the bottom of your feet and put it in your diffuser and use it all day long. Hope that helped. So I am going to pass it on to Hannah, who's going to be talking about peppermint and how peppermint supports the body system. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So I kind of have a similar story to Bethany, as that I had asthma, and as of a couple years ago, when I started to dive into oils, I haven't had to use them, and I was stuck on like 3 different ones every single day. So, and I absolutely hated how they made me feel. So to say that to not have to deal with those is an absolute blessing. And but so switching to oils, and Bethany talked about the incredible powers that the aromatic effects of putting oils into the air, and how that gets into your system, but as well as just putting it over top, like topically over your lungs, and so that soaks into your body. That has been one of the most powerful ways that oils have changed my life. But that, and I'll say it again, like everyone else, about ditching toxins in the home, and what a difference that I made, or that made for me, especially laundry, which was a surprising one. But I had read about the toxins that are in our laundry soap, and like that soaks into your skin, and I didn't even realize how much that was affecting my breathing. And so that was crazy. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about peppermint. Guys, okay, first I have a funny story to tell you, because the first time that I ever used an essential oil, I had all of the gunk going on up in here, couldn't breathe, was not having a good day, and somebody handed me a yellow peppermint and said, "Here, put some on." But he gave me like no instructions. And I was bad, and I wanted to breathe. And so I dumped 15 drops on my cheeks, and it burned so bad, to say an understatement. Like if you've ever put 1 drop of this on, like, like it's powerful, it is potent. I had 15 drops for 3 hours. My eyes were like this, and it was just like, the freezer section just blowing right here, and it burned, and I just tears were rolling down, and I was just like, what happened? And he laughed, and he was like, "Oh, you only need a couple of drops." And I was like, that would have been great to know. But hey, everything cleared up like that. I mean, everything opened up, things were coming out, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it flushed out what it needed to. um so that was awesome. But yes, definitely do not put more than a couple of drops. But yeah, peppermint has been a staple for me in terms of breathing. Like when I'm feeling the discomfort, or like everything starting to kind of close up, like I slather some peppermint right here, and you just feel, and like I put some on my chest, and then I put a couple drops in my hands and just kept it over my nose, and I can feel it opening up. I even sometimes I'll take a drop and put it on my thumb and put it in the roof of my mouth, and that, like, it kind of coats all of that area, and that seems to help me breathe better too. um So I love peppermint for that. I am also going to talk about frankincense. Um, on top of dealing with asthma, I also had this other like really painful um, lung condition, and I won't share all the details of all that, but I will say that absolutely nothing was helping me until somebody slid me a bottle of frankincense, and I started using that all over me, and it helped, and I got my life back. So I will sing praises about frankincense all day long for everything that it did for me in that regard. So yeah, Frank is my man. I always say all the time, Frank is my dude. I use Frank for everything. Um, so yeah, that's my stories. And I'm gonna pass it on over to Logan.
Hi, everybody. I hope we're having a good night. I'm so excited to be here and whoops, here we go. Talk to you about sinuses and lungs, because this is actually a whole story with essential oils that is actually I hold near and dear to my heart. So I got started with Young Living about 2 years ago, and shortly after, I hooked my mom up, because that's what good daughters do. And I um, got her a diffuser and got her set up with everything. And so, a little background about my mom: she has a rare autoimmune disease called Wagner's, most recently called GPA. And it attacks different parts of the body. They have no cure for it. They don't know what causes it. It's so rare. There's just not a lot of information out there. But basically, with my mom, it attacks her lungs and her throat, sinuses, and her kidneys. So basically, a day in the life of my mom is fighting for breath. Like, basically, if you go underwater for a really long time and then like you stay under there as long as you can, and then the moment before you come out for air, that's like how my mom breathes every day. Like, going up the stairs is super hard for her, and she just has a lot of trouble just breathing and doing everyday activities. So I got her like a Young Living starter kit just to start transitioning her to a non-toxic lifestyle, get her hooked up with all the supplements that Young Living offers. And she at first was diffusing in her living room, which was quite a large space. It included her living room and kitchen and foyer area. So we actually ended up moving the diffuser up to her room, and she was diffusing kind of in the morning and at night. And she reached out to me one morning, and I'll never forget it. It literally brought tears to my eyes. But she was like, Logan, I put a combination in the diffuser last night, and I don't know what happened, but I can breathe. And I was like, what? You can breathe? And she was like, I can take deep breaths. I can like sit with myself. I'm like breathing. And I was like, this is huge from someone that has, you know, had this long-term history. She's had it for about 20 years now. And so this is just monumental. It was something so small, but I was like, what blend did you put in the diffuser? And she was like, lemon and lavender. And I was like, I love both these oils because they're just known to have so many amazing properties. Like, lavender is known as like the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. Like, you can use it for so many different things. Like, when in doubt, just put lavender on it. And lemon is just great for like concentration, but it is also super good for respiratory support and just like, you know, moods of inspiration, energy, motivation, things like that. So I feel like it was a double whammy with her, because not only was it helping her breathe better, but because of all this illness that she's going through, she also suffers from a bit of, you know, depression and anxiety. So she said that it just helped calm her brain fog, that she was just able to breathe easier. And so now her thing is that every morning she wakes up and she diffuses lemon and lavender, and it kind of kickstarts her day and prepares her to have like an amazing day. And then she ends the night like that as well. And I think just that right there is why I share my oils with other people. Like, it's one thing for them to work on me, like that's all fine and dandy, but to see them work on our friends and family and to see them change lives is why I do this. And it's just the joy that comes along with it. And so that was just like a beautiful moment, and it's just changed her life in so many ways. And it just goes to show how powerful plants can be. So that's all from me today. And I'm not sure if we missed somebody, but I'm going to throw the baton over to my friend Amy. Have a good night, guys.
Hi guys. Okay, so I want to tell about my trio, but first I want to tell you why. I was one of those kids who suffered with severe sinus issues, and not just the sinus issues, because let's face it, seasonal allergies, whatever, that causes a lot of trouble for so many people, but I had severe headaches from it. And so I was the one who, the kid who had the Tylenol bottle in the um, school office because, inevitably almost every day I'd have to go sometime, probably in the afternoon, whatever else, and go get my Tylenol for the day so that I could function the rest of the day. And of course, then ibuprofen came out, and that was a little bit better because it seemed a little better because it was a little more anti-inflammatory and not just masking the pain, but that actually helped with the sinus issue. So, oh wow, we're moving up in the world. So, I moved on to that. But I tell you what, if you have taken pain meds of any sort, whether they're over the counter or not, that can really tear up like your system and your stomach. And I was just getting tired of taking pain medication. And of course, as I got older, I was taking allergy. I had allergy shots once a month as a teenager. And then moved, just went to over-counter allergy medicine from there, but I was taking it round the clock every day from like spring to fall. It was just awful. And it's funny that we're talking about this. I mean, it is fall or whatever, but right now I've had the last few days some really major issues. So this has really come in handy. I've actually upped it a lot lately, but it's the lemon, lavender, and peppermint blend. I found peppermint years ago. And when I finally tried the Young Living, just like Hannah said, it was like, oh my goodness. I mean, this was amazing. And it's funny because I just buy whatever was cheap or a good deal or something online, as far as the peppermint goes. And I always wondered why some worked better than others. And it wasn't until I educated myself a couple of years ago and found, why these work so much better. But people kept talking about this trio, and I was like, okay, I got to try this thing. And the cool thing is these all will help in different ways on their own, as you've heard some of the stories tonight. But this blend for me is amazing, and I keep it in a roller ball all the time. I just actually refilled it yesterday, and it's just so simple to use, but it works so well. I literally put it on my, now be careful, but I don't mind the peppermint. Hannah's story cracked me up because I don't mind putting peppermint on to the point where it, like, my eyes water, but I cannot imagine 15 drops. But I will put it on where my sinuses are. I will literally put it right there next to my nose like this. If my head is hurting, I will actually put it where it's the sinus pressure, and I just rub that in. If I've got really like a ton of congestion going on, I will roll it like where, your ears get congested, on your chest, my neck, just depends on how bad it is. I will sometimes even literally do this. I will roll it on the palm of my hand. And those of you who have used oils, probably where I'm going with this. Just rub it and breathe it in. And sometimes I'll just take a drop of one of those straight and add to it if I need more like opening up, or like lemon is really good at breaking up congestion. I will, if I am really like stuffy in my ears and throat and everything, I'll take a drop of lemon on top of that and just rub it straight up on top, just straight up oil on top of what I've just rolled on to get that. And it's just amazing. I mean, when it gets really bad like this, I'm using it multiple times a day. I'll diffuse it. And the cool thing is with the Vitality line, where you can take these internally, peppermint, lemon, and lavender all come in Vitalities. So sometimes I will add it to a capsule and take it internally, because it will just, getting into your system will keep that, it will just keep things calm, it'll keep things open, and it is so helpful. And I have not taken allergy medication. I don't remember the last time I took allergy medication. medication. I have rarely taken it since I joined Young Living, and it's been almost 2 years. But I do not take it. I took it morning and night, 12-hour pills morning and night, and it has been amazing. It has literally changed my life. So if you are somebody like me who's dealt with stuff like this, I really urge you to give it a try. It's a great natural way, and it won't tear your stomach up taking all that meds. So, all right, I am going to pass this on to my friend Beth. Thanks, guys.
Unmute myself. There we go. Can you hear me now? Perfect. Hi guys. So my name is Beth. I am going to focus on Raven. Now, please give me some hands up or hearts on who loves Raven. Like seriously, I'm obsessed. It smells so good. I use it like every day, you guys. It's amazing. But I want to talk about my story with Raven. So we do foster care and adoption. So we've got 5 adopted kiddos and 1 bio. And if you know anything about kids that come into care and things like that, then you know that they come with different issues, right? Health issues, mental health, emotional health, different things like that. And so one of my kiddos, we actually got to pick him up 2 days old from the hospital. And so, you know, the average person would be like, oh, you know, he's fine. Like, you know, he's young. No, there's still a lot of things that happen, obviously, in pregnancy and all those things as well. So we got to pick him up 2 days old at the hospital. Of course, this little baby who looks perfect. But, you know, as time goes on, you realize that there are more and more things that are an issue, right? So one of the things was lung support, you guys. Oh my gosh, this little baby couldn't breathe. Like, he was horrible. I mean, this little boy would cough all the time. You could see the little indentions into his chest. It was horrible. And so we kept taking him back to the doctor, and they're like, well, we don't know what's going on. So, you know, you just need to watch him and support him, meaning that you had to prop him up. Guys, we had to prop him up so much that he didn't roll over on time. Like, he was like 4 or 5 months behind for rolling over because we had to prop him up all the time just so he could breathe. And I'm like, guys, this is not normal. And so, you know, we went back and forth to the doctor and all these things, but they didn't want to diagnose anything because he was so young. But I'm like, guys, he can't breathe. Like, what is going on? And this is before oils, of course. Okay. So anyway, so we finally got the diagnosis of lung issues that we have to use an inhaler for. And, you know, we started using the inhaler and it started to get a little bit better, right? But then they kept upping his meds, more and more powerful medications and for inhaler. And I just was like, guys, this is a lot of toxic chemicals, you know, for doing the breathing machines that he was really fussy about. He didn't want to sit there and do, and we had to do all these different inhalers, and it was just a lot for this little guy. And so once I finally got into using essential oils and understanding how powerful they are, I was like, okay, so respiratory support with Raven, okay, I'm just gonna try it. I mean, he can't get any worse, right? So I, you know, obviously diluted it, and so I put some on his chest, put it on his back, and the first night he actually slept through the night without waking up, without having breathing issues. And I was like, okay, this must be a fluke, right? Has to be a fluke. And so we kept using it, and then we started diffusing it and learning more information. And so anyway, now we use Raven. We don't have to use his inhaler anymore. I legit don't even pick it up from the pharmacy anymore. I mean, I have one obviously for access, you know, all the things, but I literally asked the nurse this year, I said, can I just not bring in his inhaler? Can I just bring in Raven? Like, can I just do that? And she's like, no, ma'am, we need a prescription, blah, 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 right? And so anyway, so I roll it right on his chest, roll it right on his back. It helps open up his lungs so much better. He's now 6. He's a big boy. Like, he still has that issue, right? But we just roll it right on, and it's so good. Here's the tips that I'll have for you. I love using it before and after, okay? So like if we're going into a situation where I'm like, that might trigger his breathing system, a bonfire, things like that, I'm gonna apply it before, because it's gonna help open up his lungs before we get started, right? Cut down on the mucus, all of that. And then also after, you know, we're done having a party, you know, campfire or whatever, and I'm gonna put it on after as well. And then I'll make sure that I'm diffusing it in his diffuser as well. Other tips with Raven, you guys, same thing helps with with people who exercise a lot, right? I've heard a lot of great things about firefighters obsess over this because, again, they're getting all those particles in their lungs, and then the mucus is building up because the lungs are inflamed, right? And so really it helps bring down the mucus, all of the different oils that are in it. Let me tell you what's in it. I'm sorry. So we got Raven Sarah, peppermint, eucalyptus radiata, lemon, and wintergreen. You guys, is that not like a powerful pact for all things sinus related, right? It's amazing. Another tip that I have, because I always have oils with me, I make little roller bottles like this, little 5 milliliters, and they fit in Q-tips containers, okay? This is what I do. I put it in my purse. I got one in my car, all the things. Oh, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Says my speaker is weird. Hopefully you can hear me. Anyway, keep that in there. I love it. I also wanted to share really quick the VitaFlex points for the lungs and sinuses. Okay, right here. Okay, so we've got the sinuses are the second toe, right below the second toe. And then right below that is right here is the lungs on both sides, you guys, okay? Yes, so good. When I first got started, I did not believe in VitaFlex points. I seriously thought that they were like hocus pocus. I love it. But when my kiddo actually got pink eye and I followed the VitaFlex points on his hands and on his feet, so fast, okay? I was like, okay, I don't know how the science works for VitaFlex points, but I'm down for it and I'm gonna be doing it, right? So follow your essential oil pocket reference guide. It's in there, the VitaFlex points. Also, they will be in the list for different uses of it, right? So like we said, sinus issues or whatever, it will tell you VitaFlex points and where they're at, okay? Thanks, guys. That's my story. I'm gonna hold it back over to Bethany.
That was so good, Beth, and everyone. I'm just like, yeah, I'm like in the chat, like, oh my gosh, yes, so many good little tips. Okay, so let's talk about real simple. I'm gonna make it real simple for you. Here is a sample protocol, and you don't feel like you have to write all this down because you could take a screenshot of the sample protocol. Everything that we're mentioning in here is in the starter kit. So if you have not gotten started with oils, I'm gonna teach you how to get the starter kit. If you have gotten started with oils, you probably, most likely, 99%, you got started with the starter kit. So you have what you need. And so we're going to just walk through this. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen because I made a little cheat sheet here. And this is what I tell people to do anytime they come to me and say, okay, I have a lung or a sinus thing that I need to deal with. What do I do? Every 90 minutes. So that means I just say, hey, Alexa, set a timer for 90 minutes. And my little Amazon Alexa sets a timer. And then I do, so I do 2 drops of Raven in 1 teaspoon of carrier oil. That is like a coconut oil, an olive oil, a fatty kitchen oil, whatever you have on hand, on chest and feet. So as simple as it is, literally I have this little one right here. It's like a little coconut oil. I'll squirt like a teaspoon, drop 2 drops of Raven, rub it on my chest, rub it on my feet, put my socks back on, okay? That's the first thing you do every 90 minutes. The second thing you do is you're gonna roll on the LLP roller that Amy mentioned. So she was talking about lemon, lavender, and peppermint. This is the roller recipe. You'll just get a roller. Now this one's a big roller, so you'll wanna get a 10 milliliter roller. You can't mess this up. So it's not like, oh, if you do 11 drops, like it's okay. This one's a little bit bigger, but a 10 milliliter roller is pretty much the standard size. So that's what we go for. And you're going to do 10 drops lemon, 10 drops lavender, 10 drops peppermint. Fill the rest with carrier oil. So olive oil, coconut oil. If you do coconut oil in a roller, you might want to do fractionated coconut oil. It'll be liquid. And then you'll roll that on your sinuses every 90 minutes. So when Alexa tells you it's time. And then you're going to get yourself some water. You could do warm or hot water. Just if you do ice, it will separate the oil from, it will change how the oil sits on the water or in the water. So I like to do lukewarm water. 1 drop of lemon vitality, or you can, mix it up, get a little saucy and do citrus fresh, which is a blend of citruses, and drink 8 ounces every 90 minutes. So that's every 90 minutes. And then Continuous is you're going to keep your diffuser going. So while you're awake, you'll do 4 drops of Thieves, 4 drops of Raven in your diffuser. When you're going to sleep, you'll do 4 drops of Peace and Calming and 4 drops of Stress Away in your diffuser. And that is what we do around here. And I love that Amy said that she has had some sinus stuff lately, because I have too. Yesterday and the day before, I was not ready to do this call. So I had my little protocol, and now I'm feeling so great. So if you're not yet in Young Living and you're like, all right, give me this kit, here's how you do it. Text the person who invited you to this class, say, hey, what is your referral number? When they respond, you're going to be like, okay, perfect, I'm good to go. If you invited someone to this class, just go ahead and send it to them right now, because they're going to want it. You're going to go to youngliving.com, click your appropriate country, and then click Become a Member. I'm just going to walk you through this because I try to find a lung joke. You can see up here on my screen, like it says the best 61 lung jokes. You guys, there was nothing good there. I was going to start off with a joke, but no. Okay. So when you get to this page, it's going to say, all right, what do you want to do, a member or a retail customer? I promise you want to be a member. The benefits of this, basically think like Costco or Sam's Club, where you except for you don't have to buy a card. Your starter kit counts as your Costco card or your Sam's Club card. So retail means you just pay 24% more. So we just don't recommend that. And then I was referred, and then you're going to enter the member number of the person who referred you. If you're watching on YouTube because you just stumbled, you can use my number. You'll be with us. Whatever number you put in is whose team you're going to be in. So whoever invited you to this call, when you put in their number, you're going to be in their team. And that is just a fancy way of saying you're in our family, and we're going to help you and educate you and teach you and love on you and maybe even send some happy mail or something. All right. So this is the starter kit that we recommend. It's called a premium starter kit. It's $165. It comes with all of the oils mentioned, and not just all of them, but 85 drops of them. Hands down best deal. If you were to total all of this up, it would be like over, probably Beth, you would probably know the exact number, but it's like $400 or something like that, $300, $400. You get a steal when you order it all together. It comes with these little cute little hand sanitizers and Thieves spray, and wow, $465. Okay, amazing, Beth. Thank you. I knew you'd come in clutch there. It comes with a roller top, so you can pop a roller on the oils. It comes with these little Ningxia packets, which we'll teach you about later. We don't have time for it tonight. And it comes with a diffuser, so you can see everything that it includes right here. All the oils that we mentioned, the diffuser, extra stuff. And then it's going to ask, do you want to use your premium starter kit as your first essential rewards order? I highly suggest saying yes. The reason why is you will have perks for doing this. Long story short, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Young Living has a perk to being a member. That's you have access to this secret program called Essential Rewards. And this means that you have the option, if you want to customize an order from Young Living every month. And whatever you put in your box, they're going to send to you automatically, but you get to pick it. So people say, well, how much does it cost? Well, it only costs how much product you put in. So if you order, you use your lemon, lavender, peppermint, you're obsessed with it, and you diffuse it every day, and you use it in your roller, and you want to reorder those 3, then you can. And then the next month, if you're like, oh, I don't need those right now, but I do need more Raven, you can go order that. So it's really customizable. And here's the fun part. You can cancel it at any time. So it's no hassle. And you can even like call the person that invited you and say, can you cancel it for me? And if you want to, if you don't want to call, but it's seriously so easy. But the coolest part about it is most people who get on Essential Rewards never look back, and they stay on forever because these oils are so life-changing. So when it says, do you want your premium starter kit to be used as your first Essential Rewards order, I say you could just say yes. That means that you're not adding anything extra to your order. Now, maybe you're like, oh, Bethany, I have to have the Luscious Lemon Hand Soap because it smells like heaven and earth. And I would be like, okay, great. At that point, you would just add on. But most people are just going to say yes. And then it'll say, great. Okay, let's set up your monthly order for next month so that you just don't forget about it and then like get a premium starter kit. So at that point, you just click customize your kit. And then here's what we're going to order for next month. Thieves. I'm just going to search Thieves because Thieves is your starter line. Like, this is what you're going to want to get. If you're not detoxed yet, get a chest rub for lungs and sinuses. This is the chest rub. It's easy application. You do not want to be without this in the winter months. The chest rub is amazing. They just came out with it. Get the chest rub, and then you're also going to want to get the cough drops. These cough drops are, without a doubt, the best cough drops on the entire planet, okay? And then last but not least, you're going to want to get the Thieves Cleaner, because this is the concentrated household cleaner that will replace every other cleaner under your sink with plants, and it is the most effective cleaner I've ever used. I cannot recommend it. Okay, every time I say that term, like, I cannot recommend it more, it almost sounds like I can't recommend it more, but it's the best thing. So just enjoy my humor of not knowing how to say that I absolutely love it. Okay, so then you've got these 3 things. That's what you're going to get next month. You're like, okay, we're good to go. Save monthly order. Next month, you'll log in and change that, and it'll be easy to go. But next, continue. This is where you're finalizing by entering all of your information. So you enter your name, you give like how you want to sign back in, like you get a little username so you can change it and everything. And here's the thing, the most overwhelming part of this whole process is setting it up, but we're going to be here with you through the process. So don't let it be overwhelming. And if the computer is overwhelming to you, just call into customer service. They're amazing. They're so helpful. The customer service number you can find, I don't know by heart, but just Google Young Living customer service and call. But anyway, okay. So last but not least, thank you for joining us. I know this was 45 minutes of your night, and we're so excited that you're here. We hope that you have the most amazing fall and winter, and that you're not feeling like your lungs or your sinuses are holding you back from your best life. So next week, we are having another class at the exact same time, at the exact same place. And I am logging in to our Facebook group called that you can ask the person who invited you on here to add you into. And you go to the events tab, and you're going to see all of the classes that are coming up. Next week is called Switch and Ditch. We're teaching you how to replace toxins in your home with all natural stuff like plants. So that Thieves Cleaner, you're going to get a head start, because that's what we're going to be talking about. So I hope this was helpful. We're going to go ahead and end the recording, and I'll answer the questions from the chat. And that way I can say what I want. Okay, bye.